Is this a good idea? Probably not. Am I doing it anyway? Absolutely. So to alert people immediately that haven't like read the title and everything completely, this is a shuffler setup. Every 5 to 10 minutes, the game will not be what it was. Right now, we're playing the second Men in Black Game Boy Color game, as may or may not be obvious from how it looks and the text on screen. Oh wow, those drain your health really fast. There are no iframes in this game. Good to know. There's a bunch of things I haven't played in this, so don't be surprised if there's a lot of figure it out involved here. Right now, this seems, to put it lightly, jank. I could say something worse to put it less politely, but I think jank covers it well enough. Okay, that still hits. Okay. I wasn't sure if ducking was gonna be good enough for that or not. The answer? No. No, it was not. Okay, and they can aim up, which is upsetting. Oh, and of course I find a 1-up right after I've perished. Nothing new there. That's okay. Off we go. Okay, we can jump over that. Yelling at me to go this way. I'm gonna listen to it against my better judgment. Not sure if I love or hate our jumping capabilities. I feel like we jump a little too much. Things also take a beating. Oh, and there's fall damage, huh? Great. Great. Love it. So glad I chose this. Really know how to hurt a guy, don't I? That guy being myself. Frequently. And by frequently, I mean all the time. Oh well. Okay, at least there's checkpoints. There's that at least. I know I've said that at least once already, but point being, it's a thing. It helps, in theory. I'm gonna assume I want those bonuses. That I assume would fill my health up. Yeah. Looks like that would have healed me. Of course, too late for that. By a long stretch, multiple times over. But, you know, we're getting places. We might actually complete a level. Up for debate whether it will shuffle away from this before we complete the level or not. Ah! Suddenly, a ton of damage was had. Oh, I understand. But we'll worry about that later. God, why did I put this in the shuffler? I know why I put it in here, but... I put it in here because I remember this game. Oh god, I forgot how bad the jump in this is. There we go. Pretty sure I want that skull and crossbones. Tell me where I need to go, I think. Oh, It has a chance to tell me where I need to go, and it has a chance to have things in it instead. It has been a very long time. Whoop. And the wizard has sent me somewhere. And made fun of me. Yep, he's just over there doing creepy things. Okay. Hey, thank you for the resub, Evo. Welcome to me playing very strange things and regretting my life choices, as usual. I don't remember how anything works. Right, your sword runs out after a few stabs. Right. That is a thing in this game. Hidden items are also a thing. Nice. More sword. Ack. Want that. Knives. I think this did originally start as an arcade game, yes. And then got a very weird NES port, which is what this is. This is the version I played as a kid, so this is another hint into how I ended up the way I am. Games like this. And these give you 1 health each, so that's not ideal. I had no way to not get shot there. Okay, we killed enough enemies, now we can move on. We died. Death 1. Yeah, that's fair. It just means you had the fortune of playing better things. I'm not saying I didn't also play better things than this. This just was one of the things we had. Well, I have no weapons left. I must punch. I want the rum, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get that rum. I'm pretty sure if I land on a skull, it's bad times. Yep. Skulls are instant death. That's what I thought I remembered. So I basically wasted like 15 health trying to get 10 health. How do I proceed? Yeah, the barrels just kill me, so it's not like I can fight the barrels. The barrels are my worst nightmare. Okay, I guess we finished it. Question mark. Now, remember, just because I played this when I was younger doesn't mean I understand anything about it, because I don't think we ever actually really figured anything out. There's a lot of things you could be thinking of with that, and a lot of them are bad for me. I did not pay attention to what appeared there, and it's fine, we're going elsewhere. Apparently from one pirate game to another, so that's a choice that this has made. You do realize that both narrows it down and doesn't, right? Yeah. Now, I confirmed that the text was working before I started, but I do appreciate the verification. Do let me know if anything comes off as, like, incredibly loud compared to everything else. Sure, we'll be the main character for now. Pirate hunters are ruining monkey bird lives. Yep, that's a death pit. Good to know. Okay. Science was had and science was learned. You're just gonna camp that ledge, aren't you? No, you aren't. Good. You and your oversized swords that are doing nothing. Okay, that's just full of rocks or coconuts. Can't really tell which. Either way, they hurt. Yeah, I can think of a lot of games with barrels and monkeys. Can you at least think of, like, a time frame or something to give me to work with on that? Well, that works. Throw them to their death. I assume these are like knives I can throw if I hit the right button for it. I'm picking up so far. I'm also terrified that that bridge was going to just fall out from under me. No, this is a actual transition point. Okay, sure. No idea where I'm going. Somewhere in this village is their queen, and I'm supposed to be helping them. Something involving that. Sure, I will just grab the air under his foot and throw him. Sure. That's accurately how physics and throwing people work, yes. Zero questions. I'm not sure what the hell just happened there. Things are just kind of happening, by the way. You may think I'm doing clever things, but honestly, I'm just holding forward most of the time and swinging wildly, and different things happen occasionally for reasons. I'm really just not worrying about it right now. In part because I don't expect to be here long, and in part because I don't think it's going to make any difference if I do try to understand it. There is a completely different Pirates of Darkwater game as well. That's just a flat beat-em-up that I've also played at some point. I think I do actually want to try to jump over there, actually. That ain't happening. Okay, I have melons, which I presumably offer to the bird for him to tell me things. I remember that the bird was obsessed with melons. It's been a very long time since I've seen the show. I also don't remember... Oh, to be honest, I don't remember, like, much of anything about it. Oh. Apparently I can screw attack for reasons. Sure. Why not? Not really sure if that's supposed to benefit me in any way, shape, or form, but that's a thing I can do, apparently. Whee! Oh, I can't go back, huh? I'm just stuck here now? Well, that complicates matters. Okay, I figured out how to throw things. There's that much, at least. This is a Genesis game, so there's only so many things I can do. That much I can be sure of. Ah, Fall too far and you break your neck. Good to know. No surprises there, really. It looks like we have a hard cap of health that isn't actually the meter right now. I saw a dark background behind the section we were missing there. Presumably we'll get improvements to that as we go. Now the question becomes, is there something like I do here, or... Those are just rocks. Because the only other thing I could think to reach would be that box over there. But I can't get there. Like, you would think since there's an elevator that leads us up here, there's a reason to be here. But I haven't the slightest clue what that reason is, because nothing I'm pressing is doing a thing to help us here. The current only expectation I have for escaping this is when the shuffler takes us away from here. Bird, what do you know? Tell me things. Aha, I need to get 10 melons before he'll pick me up and move me. Well, I have 9. So we may as well find out what happens if I get him to move me elsewhere. It's gonna mean just stabbing a bunch more random pirate hunters. Oh, that was a choice. But now you can see that missing section of health that I was talking about. Okay, now we can get Niddler to do something. Do whatever the hell it is you do. Ah, okay, this, I guess, is a level exit option. I have no idea if any of these characters actually play differently. You have an actual sword, so let's see if you do anything favorable. Well, you don't really know how to use it, but I guess at least it's a weapon. Also a massive bastard, but at least he, again, has a weapon that does something. And we're not going to need to worry about that anymore anyway. Well, at least not till that comes back around again. Now, most people are familiar with Zombies Ate My Neighbors. A lot of people probably are not familiar with Ghoul Patrol, which I think is technically a sequel, something along those lines. And you'll see why I say that in a moment. Now, there's actually a lot of it that'll give you that idea already. Yeah. It's basically mechanically the same. Rescue the peoples, try not to die. There's just a lot more different nonsense going on. I seem to recall this one's slightly more focused in terms of what you're dealing with, instead of just generally being every B-movie monster you can think of. This seems to be a far better way to get around, is just sliding to victory everywhere, so we're just gonna keep doing this. It just looks like such an idiot. Hell of a fire rate he's got on this crossbow, I gotta tell you. somebody's over this way. You know, you do not look like you're yelling to be saved at all. You're just kind of hanging out, trying to sell me shit. There's weird stuff going on, though. Oh, God. Trees want me dead. Okay, very good. Okay, so it's evil snails I was seeing down there. Can I kill the tree? Oh. You know what? Heck with that. Oh, and there's another one. I have no idea how to use my items. I know how to switch weapons, but I have no idea how to use my medical kit. It would be a really useful thing to use right about now, as you might imagine, considering our empty hit points. I'm just gonna assume that it's gonna automatically save my life at this rate, because I cannot seem to find a button that makes it do anything. Oh, there we go. Never mind, select is apparently use my item. No? Hello there. Gry. I'm just gonna call you Gry if that's okay, because I have no idea how to pronounce that entire thing together. But yeah, I've tried out Ghoul Patrol a long way back, and now just as part of the shuffler I'm doing, I threw it in there for fun. Okay. I can work with that. Yeah, this has, as you can see, an incredible amount of things in common with Zombies Ate My Neighbors. This has been only open for, like, not even 5 minutes, I think. This is the first stage. If you can imagine that, because it's a bit excessive already. A little. And by a little, I mean, like, I think I played the first few stages of it a few years ago. So, basically, I may as well have not. I'm just kind of winging it as I go. But it thankfully plays close enough to Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which I have played a fair bit of, that it's coming kind of naturally. Get in my pocket, old man. We need to get the hell out of here. Do not wish to die to basic literacy. No. I run everything through my PC because I don't have the budget for an actual, like, capture card and anything like that as of yet. But I run all over the place in terms of what actually gets done content-wise. If I can think of it and I'm interested, I will do it. That's basically what it boils down to. This shuffler is loaded with stuff from the Genesis, the SNES, the Game Boy Color. There's at least one TurboGrafx game in there that I remember. And I think there's 1 or 2 Game Boy Advance games loaded in there as well. I loaded like 20 things into this shuffler just to make sure it stayed interesting. In another couple minutes here, it should switch again. Is how the shuffler works is every 5 to 10 minutes it will automatically switch to another game. Eventually this game will come back around. it all depends on how the random generation of the shuffler decides to go today. You're fine, I don't mind a lot of questions, and for me personally, and this is kind of tinged with just the fact that it was the system I had the majority of my youth with, it would be the PS2. It's got a very wide library, so you can generally have anything you would want genre-wise in there, and most of it's good. So I'd say that's probably a safe choice for that. I'll be speeding through a lot of the cutscenes and such for these games, purely so we get to gameplay before the shuffler takes the game away. That's fair. The SNES has a lot of fantastic stuff on it. I'm just a little bit too young necessarily to have grown up with it entirely, and we didn't have a ton for it. So I don't have the same nostalgia for it, which is why, like I said, the PS2 answer was a bit nostalgia-tinged. But the SNES is another one that covers a very wide variety of genres, so it's got very good coverage to it. Same goes, of course, for DOS, but you have the extra complication of DOS being kind of a pain to work with unless you know it reasonably well. Once you get it down, it's not bad, but getting it down initially is kind of a nightmare for people at this point. Because mind you, I was adding accessibility as a layer to my answer on that. Though with DOSBox these days, DOS is a lot more accessible. So it's not that bad. Yeah, there were a few places that would definitely have had issues as far as that goes. I'm glad you had a chance to be exposed to it. Oh, the rust is real. I have played this before. I'd never finished it. And it's been a very long time for this as well. But I have played this before. I've played, I think, 15 out of the 20 games that are on my shuffle list today. This way I knew I could at least get something done. I would honestly be kind of surprised, because this game, from what I remember, is really nasty. Which, you know, it's an NES beat-em-up, of course it's gonna be really rough. Plays really decently, though. I hesitate to say it plays well, because there is definitely the NES limitations at play here. I have not, no. I have played it, but I have definitely not beaten it. Because that is in a similar boat of, it's a good game, but man is it mean. And honestly, up until the past, like, year or so, I've not really beaten much of any games. Because I've always been too all over the place to actually finish much. I've been making myself finish games as part of my streaming, so I've managed to kick myself out of that habit a bit. I mean, getting up to 3 is pretty good, all things considered, for that game. Ah, he aimed up quick enough. Appreciate the follow there. There we go. That was sloppy, but we got there. This is definitely one beat 'em up where the dive kick is not the be-all end-all answer. It's good against a lot of things, but there's plenty of things that are good against you too. Alrighty, you have a good one. Appreciate you dropping by. I do ordinarily stream earlier than this, so other streams of mine should be a little easier for you to be able to be here for. Could go after these guys for score, but I'm not that hard up for score. Ooh, that slowdown. And we're back to Metroid Fusion. Like I said, we got a couple of things in this list. See around. I would not be surprised if we don't even really get to gameplay the first shuffle round for this. Since I can't skip most of this particularly quickly without using the fast forward that I'm not going to bother to use. But yeah, things are not going great for Samus right now. She's being infested with a parasite. The hungry little bastard. Not the only time this kind of thing has happened, of course, but you know. It's gonna be complicated to deal with a situation like this. Basically just she has become one with her suit because she's basically lived in it for so long. Conveniently, for plot reasons, Metroid DNA works out great against the X virus. That, of course, ain't gonna be without its complications, too. We'll get there when we get there. Now Samus looks like this. Now, a thing to note, I have played this game fairly extensively. I have not played it since I did a randomizer portion of it excuse me, near the beginning of this year. So a lot of it's kind of from my brain. So I can't claim, god damn it, body, to be super knowledgeable about it anymore. Will I remember where I'm going and how to get there? Probably. Will I know the answers off the top of my head to questions? Not as likely. Hey, we got a new ship, too. Which I'm still not sure how I feel about this ship design. So it's very similar, at least in its image here, to the original gunship. Just purple. Yeah, the quarantine bay blew up. Which, you know, had all that X stuff in it. So that's probably a problem. Yeah, and as usual for a Metroid game, we don't have any of our stuff anymore. All we can do is gun shoot at the minute. And jump, of course. You've got your usual aiming at 45 degree if you need to. Now, it might just be because this is the one I'm the most used to, but I personally find, at least of the 2D Metroids this and earlier, this is my favorite jump physics set. Like, this feels the best to me. And I know there's plenty of people that would argue about that one, because there's a lot of people that say Super Metroid feels the best of the lot. As a game as a whole, I would still agree that Super Metroid's probably better, but this one feels better. But, by the same token, this was also made significantly later. They learned a few things since then, and it's on a different system. So both of those are kind of a fair exchange to a degree. Now, I have been noticing that this is louder than the other games, so if it is too loud, do let me know. But, as demonstrated there, we can absorb X-Parasites freely now. And we're going to need to do that over the course of the game, because that's our method of healing in this game. No more of those little energy pellets and things like that floating around. You gotta eat weird goo monster things. Because everything in this is going to be X-Parasites. Exactly. It doesn't inhabit it necessarily, it becomes it. There's the explanation I was just talking about. It also gives you back your ammo, and as they say there, you get your abilities back. But we'll worry about that later. Now it's time for something people know, but not a version people know. Because as people will have seen on screen already, and as you see there, with it being a Rareware game, this is Perfect Dark, but it's the Game Boy Color version. I found this a while back, and I just found it fascinating. I'm gonna turn the rumble off in the hopes that it does not rely on that feature. Because I know this specifically mentions that it's the rumble version, so I don't know if that's important or not.
After your many years of study and training, this is the final test. Beyond this door is the Carrington Institute training ground. It simulates urban combat conditions. Using non-lethal ammunition, you must complete the tasks ahead of you. Success will reward you with the license you so desire. Failure is not an option.
I forgot this was voice acted. I don't think I had the sound on when I tested this all that time ago. Because I was listening to something else at the time. But yeah, as you can see, this is a little bit different. A little bit different than the Perfect Dark everybody's used to. It's actually pretty well animated for a Game Boy Color game, though. There's a decent amount of actual detail to the leg movement. Ah. You can obtain items such as health, ammo, and weapons from the guard. Lying on the floor, stand over him and press select. That is very useful information. He's got bullets in his pocket. Thank you for your bullets. And we've got a Falcon 2, as you'd expect. What are my objectives? Complete target ranges, reach exit. Okay, I can do that. I can exit places. Looks like our B button does a lot of Ooh. Ah, I have to hit the other button to reload. Was not expecting a segment like this. I completely forgot that this was the other part of this. 14 out of 15 targets hit, though, is pretty good. Wait. It's giving me an accuracy of 100%, but I miss... Oh, wait. Because I didn't shoot, so it still counts as 100% accuracy because I didn't miss the target, I just didn't hit the target. Right. That's how that works. Sure. Right then. These guys do not make human noises. They make weird noises. And again, Joanna seems to make bird noises when she gets shot, so there's always that. Well, that got messy fast. Do I carry that health? Nope, that just goes straight into my body. Got it. As expected. I can do Simon Says. Look at me. I have a brain. Sometimes. This is matching what I remember of it, though. Where the game feels surprisingly good. What it is. Oh. Well, we'll deal with that later. This, I think, is actually legit a bit too loud. I don't know. Looks okay on the actual volume sliders, so we'll with that for the time being. This is one of the TurboGrafx games I put in, Neutopia. Pretty good one. I've never actually sat down and seriously played it myself, but I do know it's a good game. And I wanted some variety in here, so this seemed like a good option to throw in. And weird shadow thing went and took a lady and flew away to the sky. That doesn't seem good. Uh-huh. Of course he has. Why wouldn't he throw them in a bunch of separate places and then kept the princess for himself? To do question mark, question mark, question mark. Sure, you have the power of healing. Good for you. We have sword. That's about all we got. Take this valuable book of revival. Ah, password book. Okay. Head west for Labyrinth. You got it, boss. We have obtained the Book of Revival, which totally looks like doesn't look like a Bible or anything. Don't worry about that. Everything's fine. Now, the big difference you'll notice compared to other games of its type is they have some hellacious knockback. I saw a Discord notification in an unexpected place, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something that actually happened that mattered at the moment. The answer is nothing to worry about at the minute. As you'd expect, we can only attack up, down, left, or right. Diagonals don't exist back in this time. We have to be careful how we line up with things. Looks like each of these coins are worth 10, so that'll be handy. Just like Zelda, we can push these around. There we go. Eye Patch Man. Okay. So somebody in this general area has a fireball wand. Good to know. How about you, Squinty Guy? So this is just teaching you, hey, push rocks, stupid. Sounds about right. I'm not sure our shield works the same way in this game as it does in the early Zeldas either, though. It seems like standing still didn't help me. Yeah, we're just in bad shape now. Well, that was a choice I made. Just standing there and taking that shot to see if it would do anything. Our hitbox is also pretty big. Help. Get the fuck out. As you can see, dying costs you half of your money. Doesn't seem like it has any other issues, though, so there's that at least. Let's actually go the correct direction. Ooh, a 50 coin. Because they said go west, and this way's west, instead of going east, be spiteful and ignore the rules. Seek out your destiny. Boom bombs. You have my attention. Medicine of Vitality. I assume that's just a regular old healing potion. We have 4 bombs. I should probably be careful how I use them at the moment. I say with absolutely no real intent to do that at all. Now, I don't know if I have to pick them up off of enemies, or if I have to buy them. What do you know? Big bad evil guy gets magical medallions, everything goes to shit. Shocking. There's a lot of people to talk to. Okay. Yeah, you know, feeling down, not just, like, bleeding from every orifice or anything, no. Just when you're feeling sad. As you expect, just hourglass item makes everything stop. Hello, One Eye. Good to know. Looks like we're going in the desert. Huh. Weird carving on the wall there. Not sure that means anything, but it probably does. It wouldn't have bothered to put it there if it was absolutely meaningless, right? Okay, good to know. We can pick up bombs, which means I don't have to worry about buying them. I have no idea if I'm going the right way. I'm just kind of picking a direction and walking. Okay, so the shield does work. But it only seems to be working on arrows and things like that at the moment. Never thought I'd miss the Zelda low health chime. But this I think might actually get more upsetting. I think it's just because it's faster. Hey kid, you know anything? I'm beeping at you, don't mind me. Good to know, except for the fact that I have no idea where the Fire Wand is, kid. Oh, back to Perfect Dark, apparently. Okay. Suddenly chest. There are no medics here. No one can save you. You know what the most unfortunate thing with this version is so far, though? No music. I mean, I get it, it's the Game Boy Color. There's only so much they could fit on the Game Boy Color cartridge. Considering what they've done with it, it's understandable that there's no music. But that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Hey, we actually have full health. What do you know? That feels like a miracle. It is super quiet whenever I'm not actively shooting or talking. Oh, they're sending midgets after me now. Oh, that was definitely a missed shot. Because I fired as I was reloading. Because I hit both buttons by accident. Missed it. Oh, this is bad. This is a bad day. Wow. Yeah, those were awful. Did so well the first time and then just bleh. Did such a bad job. Oh, if I double tap I run. No, neat. I actually got that guy in one. So headshots do count. I guess I wasn't quite hitting the head on the other one that I was firing on. Okay, basic training's done. Yeah, thanks. Spawned me with an empty gun there, game. It kept the fact that I hadn't reloaded between stages. I had assumed it was going to automatically reload me since it spawned me fresh. Turns out, no. Expecting that was just me being a sucker. That said, I do not at all mind if the shuffler decides to bring this back up a bunch. The only real issue I've got left now is I have no idea how many bullets I have in my gun. The answer, 0. I don't think I picked that up. And now I can't check his body anymore, so maybe I did pick it up. Who can say? That wiggly string of health really doesn't tell me anything. Aside from I assume it's going to get flatter and flatter as my health gets lower and lower. Because that would make sense. Oh, I have found a path. And a cow. And a medkit. Okay, yep, the depth of the wiggle there is how much health I have. Okay. It's of course shown in numerics in the menu, but I'd rather not go into the menu every time I need to check that. This door is marked with 4, so maybe I need to find door number 2, because that's objective 2, and I probably have to do the objectives in order, huh? That would make sense. Means 2 is probably down here somewhere? Yep, there it is. Because that door is actually open. How did I miss that? I don't know if that one's actually bad. I feel like that's an old lady with a cat that I just shot in the face. I also keep shooting this guy in the hat, and I don't know if that actually helps anything. Yep, that counted as a missed shot, I think. Actually, no, because I had one actual miss. Maybe I was supposed to shoot all of those then. Since this was the search and rescue training section, I had assumed I was going to have civilian targets that I needed to worry about. I might have been wrong. Oop. Okay. So there's just hostages around. Probably shouldn't shoot them either. Shooting them is probably not good. Well, that went poorly because he just decided to become one with me. Ooh, bigger gun.
Thank you.
Okay, just make contact with them to release them. Let's try out the bigger, better gun. Complete target ranges and rescue hostages. Doesn't tell me how many, though, which is a bit of a problem. Okay, good, we're finding more healing. Desperately needed healing. There's a part of me that's curious and is willing to shoot the hostage to find out what would happen, but I also don't want to do this again. So these are supposed to be non-lethal rounds, so you'd think the game wouldn't get too mad at me about that. Also, our health is, terrible? For lack of a better way of putting it, it's in a it's in a way. It's not a good way. Blue, green, red, yellow, yellow. Hey. I have no idea if I needed to do that, considering this door was open. But I did it, because it was there. Oh wait, no, that opened this door. So yes, I did need to do that. And mission accomplished. Okay, now we gotta go learn stealth training. Which I imagine stealth training is gonna go great. Because we all know I'm very stealthy. What is it complaining out of firmware for? Nothing in this list that should be a problem. Because I tested all of these. Pretty sure. Hold that thought 1 second, guys. Figure out what happened. Yeah, there's nothing on this list that should have been a problem, I'm pretty sure. Or did it freak out? Oh, I know what happened. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know which one broke it, so give me 1 second, I'll fix it. Probably the Master System one. Because that is actually the only system I didn't test along the way, because I got a bit ahead of myself. Because as it got close to time, I was in a bit of a hurry. I'll just manually remove that from the game list. That should be fine. In theory. Reality, shaky. We'll see how it plays ball with that idea. Let me see if I can see what it's actually trying to do. Yeah, that was the issue. Okay. That should have made it progress, though. I'm not sure why refreshing the script didn't make it move on. Okay, I'm gonna have to fuck with it a bit. Give me a moment. This is gonna mean that the seed's gonna go out the window. So things may get a little weird. Wait, is it? Oh. Huh. I'm gonna relaunch everything. Hang on. It seems to be very upset with me. Which is no surprise. I very heavily broke things. As I do. But all of you who have been here for more than a session are well aware of the fact that I break everything I touch at least once. So, bear with me for a minute or two while I get things playing ball again. Okay, looks like we're back to Manhattan Project. And it lost the data because of the fact that I did not resume session. So that's a little unfortunate. We're gonna have to do all of that again. That's okay. We didn't go very far. Because how it's supposed to work is it's supposed to put down save states so it can cycle properly. I did not check resuming a session when I went to relaunch. That's on me. I fucked up. So we'll just plow through again. It is going to be kind of annoying redoing the Perfect Dark bits that we did, since we were on that for a fair bit. But I know what to do now, so it shouldn't take long. This just means we might be able to do this better this time. I say as I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. Because, you know, never claimed to be good at video games. Oh yeah, we almost finished that stage of Ghoul Patrol, and we might have to fully redo that, too. But this is what I get for not really testing the different version of the shuffler that I started using today. I was very familiar with how the original version worked. This is a new fork because the original one's not actually being maintained anymore. And it seems to be a much more stable and better working version. It's just a matter of I have to figure out how it works a bit better before it'll actually really play ball nicely. And, you know, I need to not have broken things in it to begin with. Let me make sure it's actually capturing it. Yes. Okay. Very good. This is mostly just a test session anyway. So if nothing comes of it in the couple hours I'm going to be doing this, I'm not going to be that sad. I'm a little disappointed, though, that it was cycling back to a game that had already come up without even having gone through all 20, but that's how random generation goes. Sometimes you end up with the same results rather quickly. This seed might be better about that. It might be worse. We'll see. The timer is still set to the same amount, so what happens, happens. Actually, in hindsight, it's going to be probably the most unfortunate with Metroid Fusion and Utopia, since both of those have a fair whack of start to them. Wow, I am just making a mockery of the game this time. And by that I mean getting destroyed, not making it look easy. This is just an embarrassing performance this time around. Okay, have you seen somebody get hit by every Foot Clan that shows up on screen? No? Well, here you go. You have now. Alright, Bebop. Already blinking. Okay, we at least got Bebop down in one life, so there's that. All things considered, I think I'll take that trade. And they do at least give you the kindness of healing you between stages. God, could you imagine if you didn't get healed between these stages? God, that'd be a nightmare. You are not dolphins. Stop jumping out of the water. That was a weird stutter. Not sure how to feel about that. Not sure if it was trying to shuffle and didn't, or what on that one. That slowdown. Hey. Oh god. I think it shuffled away before we got this far last time, because I do not remember being bombarded with electric zappy pain. Ninja dolphins. Alright, I can hit those. Honk. Back off. Ah, yes. Stupid hover bike things. There we go. I have no longer got control, so I'm assuming we're done with this stage. Yep, there we go. That wakes. Sec. Check something. Making sure I didn't miss anything important on my phone either. Now we're on a submarine. Full of guns and death. And yes, the hatches launching the foot will actually hurt you just by them launching out as well. It is very unfortunate. This is one of the parts I was talking about when I said this game's kind of nasty and brutal. I don't think I can destroy this either. I think I'm just wasting my time. Yeah, we should just be leaving. Of course, you know, now they're just gonna add more guns. Because that's great. That will extend my lifespan. Thankfully, we can just hang out over here and let the Foot Clan come to us. Somewhat. When their AI decides to make their way over here. So, sprite limitations. Ooh, fire limitations. I don't really have as good a blind spot this time. I think, like, right here is probably the safest place I've got. There we go. Yeah, I get it. You don't want me on your submarine. But you know what? Too bad. I'm here and I have a stick. You're not gonna be able to stop me. Especially if you keep sending unarmed goons at me. I'm just going to slap them upside the head and they're gonna fall off the boat. And we're going elsewhere now. Oh boy. The other Game Boy Advance game I put in. Tekken Advance. Why I put this in here, I don't really know. Let's see if we can get literally anything done with this. Well, that's already going better than expected. I'm actually managing to fight in this horribly crushed mess. Oh, nice. I do have the kangaroo kick still. These inputs are slightly weird, though. Okay, I figured out how to do that. There we go. Of course, I lost my kangaroo kick again. I have no idea how I did it. I thought there we go. I think I did it. Definitely a bunch of the inputs have been simplified in weird ways because it's a Game Boy Advance game. So it went from being a 4-button game to a 2-button. There we go. Oh, spun too much. The kangaroo kick is so much less consistent in this version, oh my god. So it doesn't help that Nina's actually fighting, so I should probably stop fucking around so much. Oh, there we go. There's the knee. Okay. Get out of here with that. I don't know what the hell she was trying to do, but I didn't want any part of it. Okay, we're flying through reasonably well so far, which means we're about to get walled somewhere along the way here. Wouldn't be surprised if Law kicks my ass. The AI still seems a bit slow. I'm used to them kicking in by like stage 3, not even in 4 in the other versions I've played. Then again, I never really played Tekken 1, and I think this might be a version of Tekken 1. I'm not actually sure what Tekken Advance is tied to, whether it's Tekken 1 or if it's its own thing or what. So I know Tekken 1 is rough. Oh yeah, by the way, this is still a 3D fighter. You can sidestep. Speed. Dizzy. Oh, wow. Yep, this is where the AI is really starting to actually fight. At least somewhat. Stage 5 is where things stop going so well. They actually start learning to block and things that I don't handle well. I spun one time too many. Got him. Okay, we're 1-1. Mind you, I never claimed to be good at these games. In the slightest. If anything, I'd be the first to tell you I'm pretty terrible. Okay, Gunjack's gone. I just needed to actually use some moves instead of just doing dumb shit. Okay. Yeah, King's gonna fucking hurt. I don't think... My goal today is gonna be to land a single kangaroo kick. I'll be happy if I land one of those without them fucking blocking it. I forget what the input to follow up from Bad Stomach is. I know it's something weird. Then again, every fucking move Yoshimitsu has is goddamn weird. Yep. King is mad as hell. He's just kicking my ass in now. Let's try again. Yeah, I was there yesterday, Zeno. And thank you for the resub. Well, welcome to me making life choices. Choices I probably should not have made, but here we are anyway. Ow. Come on, King, don't be that way. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's where I was last night, which is why I didn't do anything earlier, as you know. God damn. These shoulder charges are brutal. And there it is. I would say hopefully I'll be able to help you sleep, but at the rate this is going, I'm not sure this is going to help anybody. Oh, back to turtles. I was not expecting to be back here already. Okay. Right, he charges up, then he dashes around. I remember now. I just gotta stay out of the way. And then go for him once he stands still again for a moment. So I gotta watch out when he gets that pipe, because that pipe's gonna fuck my shit up. Ack. Thankfully, I can actually outrange him. You know, till he moves again. Then that stops working. And that's done for that one. I swear, if we end up beating this in between getting shuffled to the other games, I'll be kinda shocked. But on the bright side, Zeno, this should at least provide a distraction as you watch me suffer. Stone soldiers. God, I... Get them off my screen. Them and their bullets. Ah, I see you have your truck again. Good for you. And, you know, just getting near the Jeep just blasts you across the screen for the reasons. Foot soldiers with spears. Hey, Shifu.
Hello there.
How is everyone doing? Ow, my face. Oh, no, you don't. Okay, maybe you do. I knew hitting him was gonna make him drop it. I was hoping I could hit him and get out of the way again. Okay. Probably just burn health to kill them. It's either that or I'm gonna bounce off them a few times and end up probably worse off. There we go. Yep. Ah, hi Slash. How you doing? This is probably how this ends. Yep, I missed that. Oh my god, we managed to do it. Okay. I don't feel like I deserve to win that, but I'll take it. With the damn panic attack and somehow win the fight anyway. Are you kidding me, game? Okay, I'm starting to get the old reflexes back. The 10-plus-year-old reflexes. God, I wish this game had a run button. None of that. No. What did I just say? Damn ninja clowns. Oh, speaking of clowns. Right, I'm Donatello. I can outrange the everything. There we go. Oh, no, 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 no. 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 No 10-ton weights. Yes, you have a wrecking ball attached to your head. Good for you. Somebody thought this was a brilliant idea. And we're dead. Just in time to switch to Blaster Master. Thanks, Shuffler. Oh boy. Yeah, for all those coming in later, there is a Shuffler script in play right now that changes what game is currently running every 5 to 10 minutes. And anywhere in between. I have no input on when it switches after I put in what time frame I decided I wanted for it. And I figured most things will get a decent bit of headway in 5 to 10 minutes at a time, so it'll work out. There we Yep. Okay, I was pretty sure there wasn't anything else down there, but I wanted to make sure before I wandered off too far. Let's hop on out of Sophia and go check out down here. I don't remember where I'm supposed to start the process around here. I think down here is worth being it. Wow, okay. That went poorly. I think it's because I fell more than him shooting me, though. I think the two combined to kill me, so we'll try that one more time. Yeah, because you'll notice falling did 2 damage to me, and we can just shoot him from that ledge. Now we can go in here, as soon as I remember what button it is to go in. There we go. Desperately need some gun upgrades. There we go. There's our first gun upgrade on that note. We'll also get a few more for all these blocks in here. This one appears to not have been a necessary path to take, though. Because some of these interior areas are pointless and some of them are necessary. And I, for one, have no idea which ones are which. Because it has been a very long time and I never actually finished this game. Oh joy! He can't grab ladders in the air. Well, that's unfortunate. So we now only have our last life already. So that's off to a great start. I think we can get lives back, but don't quote me on that. This does also mean we lost those gun upgrades, which really is the unfortunate part of this whole exchange. I don't think I can destroy this now. I think that's just the thing that's there. Pay no mind to the fact that my bullets don't exist when I'm toward the bottom of the screen. It's fine. Everything's fine. Now, since it is kind of late, and by kind of late, I mean a very late start for me, I'm probably only going to go for like 2 or 3 hours, because I don't want to be up late. I need to at least pretend that I'm going to try to sleep like a normal human being still, so I can be functional tomorrow. It's either that or I fully shuffle my whole schedule back a few hours permanently or something, and I haven't committed to that yet, so... I don't think things respawn in these. I think they have, like, set spawns when you enter the room. It's a very mixed bag with that one. Okay, there's another gun upgrade that I'm going to promptly lose. Get the hell out of here. This appears to be another one that did not matter, unless I missed something. Yep, there goes that gun upgrade. I'm just double checking to make sure there isn't something. I don't know what that H does. Oh, right. These are... There's a couple other weapons for the Sophia that we have. Oh yeah, when you pause, these things respawn too. See? They're technically off screen when you open the pause menu. Looks like we're not going to be able to get anything else out of these. I'm just checking all the blocks again to make sure there wasn't like a staircase or something underneath these, but I don't think there is any such thing in this game. So I think we're good to leave this one as well. I think these were more intended for you to get gun upgrades and such for Jason now rather than later. Don't go in the water, by the way. Water's bad times for you right now. Your mobility and everything's going to suck. I believe you take damage over time in the water as well, early on. So, you know, just bad time all around. Don't recommend it. I believe we actually want to be up here. Somewhere. Or not. I might just be talking out of my ass. Hard to say. That might just be like a way around the worst of the nonsense down there. Oh, speaking of nonsense. Glub glub, hello fucking water. As you'll notice in the water, the Sophia doesn't jump very well. We're just kind of stuck here. With dollar store Metroids. Up. Out of water, please. Thank you. We might actually need to go in the water, considering we seem to have a lot of nowhere else to go. So that's unfortunate. Because this is back where we came from. Let's, I guess, check each section of water then. I guess my memory was wrong. I do actually not take damage in the water. We just move painfully slow. Maybe it's my human body that takes damage in the water if I'm in it too long because he, like, drowns or something. That would make some sense. Might also be thinking of the wrong damn game. Wouldn't be the first time. Does this one matter? This one looks familiar. I think this is an important one. But then again, I thought that of all of these, so what the hell do I know? Everything's important until you establish that it isn't. Oh yeah, fun fact, he only holds his gun on his right, so things like this you cannot shoot until you coax them to come across the other side. You can't fit his wide body through there. Oh, there we go. Time for another different game. That was one of the longest ones this time. Dracula X. A lot of animation for it being on the SNES. Can I really, like, do anything, or am I just strutting around? Right, there we go, there's the item crush. Wasting a bunch of everything, but you know. This is how you remember how things work. Push buttons and cross your fingers. I feel like Richter should be able to do more than this, but I think that's me remembering other versions where he is more capable. You know what? You can stay down there, Mr. Bones. You go hang out down there. You have a great time. Might also just be how kind of over-animated this is, where I think that I'll have more mechanics than I do. This is honestly, in some ways, more animation than, like, the Game Boy Advance games got. So it's just kind of funny to me. If you touch the amulet, everything dies. If I remember right, this is the one that got the, like, most heavily hit with censorship and such, and that's why this one's a little weird compared to a lot of other ones. Like, I want to say that amulet's actually supposed to be a rosary and things like that, and all that got taken out for the American release. Because Nintendo of America. I want to say that's this one. I'm no expert on that, though, and I keep hitting that button trying to find other things I can do, thinking that I can do literally anything other than walk and whip and die. Well, there went the cross. Which, that's a hell of a thing. They turned the amulet, the rosary, into just a standard amulet, but they keep the cross as a cross, rather than, like, turning it into a boomerang, which they did for Bloodlines. Funny how that works, isn't it? And these spikes right here are why I wanted to go up there. You know, gotta actually manage to make the jump. Don't need the amulet anymore. Dang it, I jumped too early trying to avoid the Medusa head. Again. Gotta be real careful not to get knocked down that hole, because I'm pretty sure that'll kill me. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Of course there's one here. Why wouldn't there be? There we go. Only had to burn a life to get out of there. Could have been a lot worse. Like hell do I want the knife? Come on now. Damn this. Oh, that's a problem. Yep. I knew my committed jump arc was gonna kill me there. There was nothing to be done about that. Okay, good. There's a new cross right here, though, so we're fine. Thankfully, Richter's got some real strong toes. So he can just land toe first on the ledge and keep himself going. Okay, fine. I don't want it that badly. Well, everything's going great. Because when you continue, you gotta start the whole stage over again, and all of that, one stage. And to think, this is another case of if you just had a run button or something, things would go a lot easier. And I think it's the... I think Rondo of Blood was TurboGrafx? And that you could run and things, I'm pretty sure. I might be mixing my versions of things. Because I know the version of Richter in the beginning of Symphony of Night, for example, can run, and I'm pretty sure that's based on the Rondo of Blood Richter. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I have not actually looked up any of that information in a very long time. And I've also not played Rondo of Blood in a while. Cannot guarantee that information. That's all just information buried in my brain somewhere. Like, yeah, that sounds right. Is it right? Knowing now that there's a cross there, that's why I didn't bother going down to go get the other cross anymore. I gotta be real careful when I jump. There we go. Nice and clean. I was about to say, let me guess, that's the end of stage, isn't it? But I think this is boss fight, not quite actual end of stage. But if we fuck up this fight, which with 2 HP I'm probably going to, we'll find out later, because if we're back to Pirates of Darkwater. Well, god damn it. Hey, you're making progress? Let's take that game away from you, shall we? Just let's take you somewhere else. I did not realize that I put more than one Sunsoft game in as well. Is Pirates of Darkwater Sunsoft, Blaster Master, of course, is Sunsoft, and I think there might actually be one other Sunsoft game in this batch. Dealt with all this once already. We'll give Tula a try now, since we tried the other two idiots. Yeah, she's a lot faster, as expected. Doesn't seem like she jumps any... Oh, she's got a bit of a forward push to her roll, though, so maybe that'll help. Seems like she does a lot less damage, though, because these guys seem to take a hit from... No, never mind. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't mind me. I don't know why you wouldn't just be using her. She's a lot faster, and seems to do the same amount of damage. I just keep getting knocked off... Actually, wait, yeah, I think she's taking more knockback. I don't remember getting knocked around like that by those rocks. That might be the thing. Ah, and that's health extension. Noted, hearts are good. As you'd expect. We've already learned more in a few minutes this time than I did the entire time last time. I don't know how to feel about that, aside from brain is waking up a bit. Like, second wind type waking up. Now, we know we're supposed to be over here. We have no idea what we're supposed to do over here, considering we couldn't seem to manage to do anything. But maybe with her long, extended jump, because she moves faster, maybe I'll manage to do something. We also learned we can drop through platforms, so maybe that's required somewhere. Like, maybe those boxes that we couldn't get to over on the right over here are actually required. There's that whole area up above us, for example. Okay, can't reach it from that side. Maybe we can get it from this side. Because we definitely did go further when I jumped and rolled with Tula as opposed to the rest of the group. No, that doesn't seem physically possible. Especially when I keep ending up hitting the edge of the platform before I jump. Yeah, no, that's not physically possible from there. I must be missing something. Okay, she has magic. That's what that is. Okay. Is it as stupid as I'm supposed to, like, jump and grab the ledge on the way up there, and is that the key to victory here? How stupid would that be? The answer's stupid enough to be real. Yep, there it is. I only just now realized we were able to jump high enough to reach that, otherwise I would have tried that a while ago. I do kind of hope the Shuffler starts showing us some of the other, like, 15 games that are in the Shuffler pool. Kind of put them in there for a reason. And that's for them to show up. Because we've seen the Men in Black Game Boy Color game. We've seen Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color. We've seen this. We've seen Turtles 3 for the NES. We've seen Skull and Crossbones. We saw Blaster Master show up. Metroid Fusion, of course, popped up at least once. Where am I going? We are once again at the impasse of where the hell am I meant to be. I have to assume I must use this elevator to climb up somewhere again. Yep, that's a little high to spot properly, but it's there. We now know that those melons are for leaving the stage, in case things go really horrible, so we know we don't need to use that. God damn it, game. Yay for stiff platforming. Oh, is this even stiff? This might be actually more floaty than stiff. It's, at the very least, imprecise as all hell. Oh, I can be picked up by them through the floor. Okay. I meant to jump to the other platform, but my timing was all kinds of wrong. So that's... I wouldn't say that's on me, but it is at the same time. I feel like it's more the game's fault for having weird controls, but... Because even the lightest tap on the D-pad is sending Tulo more than a step. And I don't know if that's because my controller is just a little too much for this, or whatnot on that one. Let me be smarter this time, and less impatient, and just ride this across, instead of jumping to the other one, so we can grab the stuff that's up here. Oh good, this actually leads somewhere as well. I thought I was gonna have to then jump down to the moving platforms, which could have been a disaster. Yeah, we would have gotten here either way. So that just was a slight shortcut. Okay, starting to get a handle on how she moves and fights a bit better now. I'm gonna assume those coins are useful. We are almost dead. We are dead. Oh, pff, great. as I'm respawning in, I get hit by more rocks and sent back down. Oh, and when you die, you lose your health extension, huh? Gonna be one of those games today, okay. Looks like her magic does one hit of her regular weapon's worth of damage. And all of this was for a 1-up. And an exit, okay. So that was a level. That level is done now. And now we're back here. Well, that was actually a nice transition, all things considered. Ow. Wait, you've got 3 heads like Cerberus, and yet you're making cat noises at me. That genuinely threw me off enough that I could not deal with him. Well, so much for the easy win of having the cross for this. I should have just hit it with the damn item crush. Like this. I jumped the wrong way. You're the fucker. I shouldn't have jumped. I thought it was the animation for it going backwards from getting hit and it jumping backwards are the same. The only way you can tell you hit it is when it flashes, and I was not paying enough attention to realize it didn't flash there till it was too late. Wish I didn't just have the axe for this, but here we are. I think he had iframes for that one. That was a waste. Oh, you can hit me up here, huh? Yep. Oh boy. This is off to a great start, too. Now we gotta do the whole stage again. But hopefully we'll do it better this time and actually have decent health and the cross, and we can just pummel that thing into the floor with the cross. Call it a day. Ooh, that's a hefty number. We'll tend to that in a second. Thank you for the raid, Crimson. How was your stream? I know you were finishing up Vampire the Masquerade. How'd it go? Assuming you can hear me by now. There she is. How are you all doing? Hey, Violet. Ah. I take it was being disagreeable about ending. I could have swore your intent was to finish it, but any number of things could have happened with that one. But of course, thank you for raiding in with all these lovely people. Now, I will warn everybody that just came in, things are going to be a little weird. Yeah, that makes sense. Because some of those side quests in that can definitely drag on a bit. But yeah, I have a shuffling script in play right now where every 5 to 10 minutes, the game that's currently being played will change. I have no control over what it's going to pick aside from I put together the pool that it's going to select from. Good job, Brain. Way to continue inputting jumps, expecting that to work out great. It's been an experience so far, and it's not the first time I've used it. It's certainly made for an interesting experience on the whole, though. It hasn't picked all 20 of the games I put in the pool yet, so we'll see if it ever actually gets around to picking all of them. If I get that far. But hopefully you enjoyed your time with Vampire the Masquerade, even if you didn't finish today. No, I don't want the axe. Give me back my cross. Thank you. Sounds good. Game willing, of course. Keep whiffing them crosses. Hit absolutely nothing with them. You know what? Here, enjoy Pinball Cross. It would just stop landing on my head. That'd be great. I do not have the mobility to deal with nonsense like that. Okay, we got it this time. Okay. Stage 1 of Dracula X done. We're like a stage... We're a couple stages into Turtles 3 on the NES. We're now a stage into this. We moved forward a little bit in Blaster Master. We had some progress in Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color, but I had to reset everything, so that all went. That's understandable. I know it's real late for you by now. Oh, so sleep well, Crimson, and thank you again for the raid. It's always good to see you. Thank you. I probably won't be going super long since it's already pretty late. Fishman. Okay, finally made that jump. Gotta be very careful how I jump up here. Ground, please. Ground, please. Physics, why? There we go. Okay. Let's see if I can actually get anywhere, or if it's going to take the game away from me again. Thank you, Violet. Have a good night. Yep, down the hole I go again. Okay. Surviving. Not thriving, but at least surviving. I gotta remember I have more time than I think in order to clear these guys so I can move safely. Okay. Of course, I make it and they take the game away from me. And we get another new one. Why have I done this to myself? Well, that went poorly. As will the rest of this adventure. Okay, those are helpful to get a continue. Those are things that'll be helpful along the way. We can use exploding rocks, boomerangs, and sling rocks. Okay. All good information to have. I'm gonna leave difficulty at normal for the moment, even though I might regret that. I remember this game being a bit of a nightmare. Because you'll notice it's got that old issue of some of your animations take a while to happen, just because they wanted to put a bunch of frames of animation in for it. Like, this actually has a lot in common with, like, Mickey Mania and things of that nature. So a lot of the animations in this are actually very similar. But yeah, that's the problem. The quicksand kills you instantly. You touch it, you're done. Game over. Well, not game over, but that life is over. Very rapidly it will reach game over. And I tried to jump over it, I should have just waited. As always, my impatience is my undoing. I'm touching it with my head, why can I not have it? Oh, I can actually just, like, hit them with my sling instead of having to throw things. Good to know. I really thought I was going in that quicksand. Now wait patiently this time, stupid. There you go. Oh god, it's a boar. They followed me from 7 Days to Die. And help. Wow, it is a tanky bastard, too. Huh, I can get up on that ledge. Okay. I think just literally going left is getting me up on top of that ramp. Because I tried up and left and nothing happened. And then I just kind of ran into it just right, and it worked that time. Okay, it wants me to go that way. I cannot seem to... There we go. I was about to say, I can't seem to do anything about the hanging snakes. Okay. Oh, I can, like, crawl, I guess. If I press down and jump, he just hits the deck. That's probably actually useful at some point. Oh, I see. I need to line up just right to hit this monkey so I can get him out of my way. There we go. And then I can get health. Keep us away from the gator trying to eat us up there. The upper right. Hey, we got boomerangs now. Yeah, we did actually get an exploding rock at some point, too. Huh. Okay, magic stone, where do I go? That way? Got it. Okay, that works as I would have figured it would. Spider webs are always either something that sticks you or something that sends you. Ah, I gotta time that, okay. Understood. Whee! That's gotta be unpleasant for whatever it is that I'm using to climb. Oh wow, you've gotta send that just right. And I keep sending it too right. Oh well. There we go. Not enough. There we go. Too much, but I will take it because it got me where I needed to go. I just didn't get the thing. Okay, I can stop that from expanding, I just can't destroy it. I see. Okay. Dagnabbit. On. Oh, and we don't need to worry about that anymore. Right, we didn't actually save or get a password, so we're kind of SOL on this one. And I cannot seem to leave this screen. So I'm just gonna quickly... Food core. That shouldn't interfere with the shuffler. We do have to sit through all this again, unfortunately, which is, you know, a thing. Now, something of note, I'm probably only going to go for another, like, half hour or maybe an hour at most. I do want to make it worth it to everybody who came in from Crimson and to have gotten here. Thankfully, we can skip some of the wasteful walking I did last time. Yeah, you know, you're telling me about this charmed compass that I'm pretty sure I don't have. Unless that's just an intrinsic part of my equipment that I'm not aware of. Oh wait, yeah, we do have a compass on screen there, so I guess we do have it. How, why, when? Who knows? There we go, we got bombs again. And we got the Medicine of Vitality again. We're now caught up on everything I had found. We were told about a fire wand that we need before we can do anything else. I think these wings, like, let me jump once. Or something like that. So we're not gonna waste those. Ooh, more medicines of vitality, huh? 200 for one dose, huh? And I can carry 2 vials. I'll get back to you when I'm not broke, lady. It would be nice to have a second vial of vitality on hand. Especially at the rate this game's kicking my teeth in. And money doesn't seem to be too hard to come by unless you are unlucky. And now that I've said that, I've cursed myself to only ever see 10 coins ever again, probably. But, you know. Looks like we cap at 8 bombs, which is unfortunate. Just like how much health I just lost. Joyous day. What's your deal? Ah, so the weird old man picture actually is indicating where bombable door is. Okay. We know where that is. It was like right over here. This is a different one, but I'll take what I can get. I suppose one of you gentlemen will be so kind as to drop health, huh? And just think, I probably could still die even with these guys paused. If I was foolish. We'll just go ahead and heal. Okay, the mural itself is the door. Hi. Got it. Keys open doors. So it's like we always knew. Yeah, there's the other one. Right here. Kaboom. What's your deal? Okay, so there's 2 labyrinths per zone. Or at least to this zone. We already went the other way before. Let's go up this time. More old people. Okay, crystal ball operates like a map. Okay. Right, there are secret rooms that the crystals won't show me. People have already established that for me. Stairs and a door. May as well check the door first. Ah, this I think is another save point. Yes. Go ahead and use the file cabinet. I'm not going to bother with the password as long as the file cabinet works. So it should be save stating every time it shuffles away anyway, so it shouldn't be an issue. Almost like this is what the arrow was pointing to. Oh, convenient. Oh, a healing point. That's awful generous of them. I'm gonna guess that's always gonna be there now? Yes, the monsters there don't respawn. Here's the dungeon. And of course, no dungeon is complete without bats. And slimes. The beeping threw me off for a second. I did not know what the beeping meant. I thought something had gone wrong. Which, in the end it did, because I got my head kicked in again. Oh my god, these slimes are the worst. I don't know what either of these things do, and I probably shouldn't waste them to find out. Then again, since enemies drop them, maybe I should use them to find out what they do, and then pick up another one. But who knows how many attempts it would take to get another one. No, they do respawn. Joy. That's right, hero. Take your life in your hands in order to get healed. It can't possibly go poorly for you. You know, just a little tired, missing an arm, beat to hell, you know. Just a little winded. Ah, there we go. Since there was already a bunch of Game Boy stuff in here, I figured why not? Put Metroid 2 in here. Since I've not actually really played this one that much. Aside from the fan-made remake and a little bit of Samus Returns, which is just a remake of 2 as well. just with a few different features added to it. No, I suppose retelling might be the more accurate word for Samus Returns. You start with the Morph Ball for a change. Can't Morph Ball in the air. We appear to have missiles as well. Okay, select activates missiles. We don't have bombs. Not sure how I feel about the shot sound, but we're gonna be stuck with it for the duration here, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. Also, it looks like we don't have any angled shots. We've only got up, down, left, and right. We do have scrolling rooms, though, which is not bad. Considering the size of these rooms. Just gonna let Samus blink there for a second. Okay. Since the bot message popped up at a weird size in the chat, I wanted to make sure nothing got cut off at the bottom of it, so making sure I'm not missing anything, basically. We found a Metroid. Oh no. Oh, I did not mean to leave the screen. I assume that's gonna reset it. Yep. We're gonna die. Oh no, I got it. I have 1 hit point left, but I got it. Now, from what I know about this one, each Metroid you kill towards your count triggers things to change in the world. Like, now, oh, you see the screen shaking and everything? That's because something's changing. Ah, okay, this refills my health, and this would have refilled my missiles if we hadn't already refilled them by touching it already. Okay. Also, that was actually a really useless sentence. Good job, Brian. No. No. I want up. Actually, do I want up? I don't have a map. Which, that's a crying shame. A Metroid game without a map is just horrible. And I get, due to the way this is designed, it's kind of hard to have a map. But I would like a map. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Nope. We definitely don't have a map, because I've pressed every button that would be available on a Game Boy now. So that's a thing. That is misfortune incarnate. Yeah, something should have opened up to us somewhere. Since everything shook. As to where I'm going, I haven't the slightest idea. I'm gonna just do the same thing I did to find that first Metroid, and that's just go in directions and hope. Ah, found something. This is not the same thing I saw before. Either I'm making quick progress, or this is lasting a bit. I can't really tell which. I think it's lasting the full time frame. I feel like it should have been at least the 5 minutes by now. If not the 10 minutes, considering the fumble at the start of the Metroid fight. Ow. Oh, I think we have more than one tank of energy as well. Because we just went back up to 97, unless that's supposed to be a 47. And the font is being bad. Hard to tell. I wonder what game it's gonna pick next. Okay, no, that was supposed to be a 47. Okay. Noted. We're in danger. That's lava, by the way. As it turns out, that is lava, and lava hot. That was a bad trade. We're getting somewhere. Somewhat. Getting dead, that's what we're getting. I haven't found a save room yet either, which is a concern. But I remember this one being kind of unusual. At least it was usually described as kind of unusual. So maybe checkpoints at, like, the Metroids or something? I don't know. I find that highly unlikely somehow. Ah, infinitely respawning supply boys. It's not what they're called, but that's what I end up calling them half the time because that's what they're here for. They're to give you a chance to refill your health in the field. So they seem to not be quite as infinitely respawning in this one. Maybe they were finite before too, I do not remember. But they're a Metroid staple. Now, I wouldn't say they're necessary, but they're very helpful. Whoop. We have taken a step forward, I see. We'll be able to skip some stuff because of the fact that there is still the save from when we started the game. But all this does is skip the intro cutscene, pretty much. It's funny to think just how similar the physics on both of these actually are, though. They didn't really change them that much throughout the series. Supers feel slightly faster in terms of your drop speed, and that's about the only issue I've ever had with it, is it feels like you go up and then back down a lot faster in Super Metroid compared to any of the other ones. I've always had a little bit of trouble adjusting to that. So this one's also pretty quick. There was definitely more float to Metroid 2. And I think there was a decent amount of float to the jump in Metroid 1 as well. But it's been a while for that one. And no, Metroid 1 is not in this pool. 2 and Fusion are the only ones in this pool. Spoiler alert. Okay, now we go back to the navigation room again. Thankfully, we didn't do much with this because it got taken away from us again quickly. So, not much backtracking required. We just need to go talk to the Reuben again. Find out, oh, X stuff is bad. You can take it into your body and get stronger, though. Because the parasites can be anything. Now, when they say DNA, though, there is a kicker to that, and that is that they can mimic biological and mechanical things to a degree. Biological, they can mimic anything, but there are some mechanical things that they mimic too. I don't really know what the idea for that is entirely. Yeah, we can now go through gray doors, but they won't let us go back to go through that other door that's over there. We're still being railroaded a little bit. I would say that the railroading stops quickly, but it does, but it doesn't. This one railroads you a little more than most Metroid games does. Words. And you'll notice that they don't always mimic things quite accurately. Like, they turn the scientists into weird goo men instead of being people. Which I suppose makes a degree of sense, because they don't want you running around shooting people. We can get missiles, which help deal with things that a laser can't hurt. Which, you know, only raises our survival odds by 10%, though, so, you know, not the best. And, you know, riding in an elevator, gotta pose. And monologue. There's one of your handful of info dumps you'll get along the way through this. As Samus reflects on various things. I'll deal with the navigation room after we grab the data. There we go. He has missiles now. We are slightly less useless. They won't let you out of this room until you listen to what Adam has to say. Yep, elevators are broken. Yep. You told me target was there, I remember. Yep, there'll be green parasites floating around we can get our ammo back from, or we need to go to these R rooms. The good news is, a lot of the time, a recharge room will be near a save room. Because save rooms will not recharge your missiles. And I don't remember if save rooms recharge your energy in this. I think since recharge rooms do energy, I think save rooms don't do anything other than keep your data. That one varies from Metroid to Metroid, and I do not remember with any certainty right now. As you can see, he wasn't kidding. Elevators are gone. So we will need to find another way. Otherwise known as go this way. Blow this hatch off its hinges. And into the vents we go. As you can see, it doesn't take us long to get there. We also get a bonus missile tank for our efforts. You'll notice that that's blocked off. Never really gonna be able to fix that problem. And we're full on missiles, I don't need to deal with him. Suspicious empty room with things in it. When you see that dot marker, that means you picked up whatever's in there. You'll see a circular marker if you know that there's an item in there, but you haven't found it yet. Which is very handy. It helps you know when not to waste your time searching rooms that don't have anything in them. These guys used to be a pain in my ass. Now that I understand them, they're not so bad. When I first played this game, they were annoying. It's like, why can't I just shoot them? And of course, they keep respawning these guys. Which works in your favor, though, because it gives you a constant source of energy and missiles. In case you really just somehow can't manage to figure this out. You can triangle jump off of ledges you can grab onto. As you can see, they're quite generous early on. They give you a couple missile tanks and an energy tank on your immediate route. Because they don't want you to get killed. But they don't want to make it easy for you either. Right, if I wait for him to charge, he knocks me off there. Right. This guy's not hard. I'm just being slightly stupid, remembering how he works. Because his pattern is very simple. You shoot him with a missile, he's gonna go for the blast on you, and etc, etc. When you make them shed their mimic form, they'll drop a bunch of parasites. And thankfully, as long as you didn't miss a ton of missiles, you have exactly what you need to go to a different game. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Which, fun fact, there's actually a second Indiana Jones game in this lineup. But I don't think we're gonna get to it. Oh yeah, you have a set number of whips I see down there, so I shouldn't waste those. Jump over the pottery. When in doubt, punch the boxes open. Betting there's fall damage, so let's just grab that on the way down, shall we? Fuck you, Prospector Man. Oh, fuck me, I guess. That's what I thought was happening. If I hit my head on the ceiling by jumping, I can die. Interesting. I just kind of hit the button a few times to see what would happen, and lo and behold, death. Like, the spiked ceiling here, that makes sense to hurt me. Just bumping my head into the regular flat ceiling when I jump, it's a little mean. I don't think we can get back up there now. Oh well. We didn't use up any of our whip charges, so it really doesn't matter. We killed the other guy by landing on him. I don't know why we didn't kill that one. It's a me, Indiana Jones. Another whip charge. No prizes if anybody guesses that this is a trap. Huh. Well. And we're dead. Well done, you got a high score. Of nothing. Oh, it started us right where we left off. That's actually shockingly generous for a continue. And of course, we have a time limit for the reasons. I assume I whip this. No? Huh. I thought I needed to whip that to swing across it. I think I am right. I just did it wrong. He's adapting. Fuck you. Okay, he can just slide off the edge sometimes. Good to know. When in doubt, do the same thing they do. Just do it better. Of course, he adapted and started using his gun, so he needed to be dealt with. I wonder if it's just a matter of I literally just missed. Yeah, if I take one step forward to get closer to try to whip that, I just fall in. Interesting. Judging from the time frame, we've got enough time for like one more shuffle to potentially happen. What do you guys think? Should I reveal to you the rest of the list or save that for the future? I have no idea what I'm supposed to do there. I pressed every button, I whipped it. I definitely hit it with the whip at one point as I was whipping. I don't have any other buttons. Am I supposed to just like jump again as I reach the peg or something and that gets me across? Or am I overthinking this and I'm literally just meant to make like a pixel perfect jump there? Because this does not seem like a makeable jump. Yeah, you genuinely, I don't think, can make that. And he doesn't seem like Indy has a run or anything. Unless there's a button I'm supposed to hold to run. Well, game over already. That's off to a brilliant banger of a start. Like, access to... Oh, it's already on easy, by the way. So imagine what hard would be. And doesn't look like I have other buttons. Which, since this is a Genesis game, not surprising. Maybe there's a button that I, like, run if I hold it or something. No, holding jump just kills me, so no. We've used all of the buttons. Now my foot. And we're dead. Oh boy. I wonder why they even have that torch there. Is it possible to not get it? If so, why on earth would you not get it? Because then just the whole stage will be dark and everything will be even worse than it already is. And sure, you could say, oh yeah, you want to challenge yourself, but there's a difference between challenging yourself and making the game unplayable. Because I think if you look at how dark this is... actually no, this isn't that bad. You can still see the entire stage. So this is literally just pointless. It's there for effect and nothing else, basically. And the fact that their knees bumping into me hurts me is question marks. I knew this game was kind of rough going into it, but I did not know just how kind of jank and weird and bad this is. Like, for example, look at the wind-up on Indy's Punch here. I did learn he can crawl around, so that's vaguely helpful. Not really sure that actually solves any of my current problems, but, you know, I learned a thing. I also learned... Oh no, he can punch in the air, and I died because of the ceiling. Amazing. The fact that I can kill myself by hitting my head on the ceiling is probably going to be the biggest takeaway from this game. The fact that games exist that you can just bonk your head like that and die. Oh hey, it brought us back to the game I started today on. The Game Boy... Like, you fucking Men in Black 2 game. Amazing. Well, we know what we're getting into a bit now, so I can go a little bit quicker through this early part. Gotta remember not to get near any of these gunners, because they just shred your health, because they have the same bullet limitations, like, for example, Mega Man does, where their bullets can only spawn if their last bullet is gone. So, of course, Mega Man has the limiter of, like, 3 of his bullets can be on screen at a time. Same concept, though. These guys, thankfully, can only have 1 bullet. Sunglasses, no. Got a shortage of those. That's why we gotta go find them all. Aliens have stolen all of Earth's sunglasses. We can't use the neuralizer without them. What a world would it be if everybody knew about aliens? What I wouldn't give for iframes, or any kind of hope at all. gonna assume there's probably something important behind that gunner. Now, of course, I find health after I've died. Well, guess I'll just top up my health while I'm here, because I ain't coming back for it. This is the guy that taught me that they have absolute bullshit power at close range. Because you would think normally, oh yeah, get close to the guys that shoot, because they're not going to be any more dangerous up close. You may as well just spam your shots on them at close range. Answer is, don't do that here. They will just destroy you, because they can spam harder than you can. I don't care how fast you can mash, you can't mash faster than instant. Yeah, and I was right that there was something important behind this guy. Specifically, the rest of the level is behind that guy. On the bright side, the health respawns, and we get to keep the sunglasses we found along the way. I'm starting to think that fighting most of these things is not worth my time and energy. Aha! Press up to go somewhere. Fall damage. Right. In what is practically a bonus stage, judging from the fact there's just bonus stars everywhere. Yep, and it put me back where I started, so that literally was just a bonus stage that I lost half my health in to fall damage. Amazing. Still, all things considered, this is one of the better games that was on this shuffler list that I didn't already know about. This is at least playable compared to, like, the Indiana Jones game. Which, don't get me wrong, mechanically it functions, but it's just so needlessly harsh that it's hard to get it going at all. But we're about at the 3-hour mark, so I'll be wrapping up here in a second. I'm just gonna curiosity my way over here. Yep, there's the sunglasses. That's the last pair we need. So I'm gonna see about getting that, and then we'll call it. This way we can see the end of a stage in this game. I'm curious about that. Keeps on bebopping along. Keep. Turn for the little brain, man. Okay, I've got all the sunglasses. I presume I leave? Or is this another bonus stage? This is another bonus stage. Let's not worry about that since we're not keeping this. Oh, no, we can't go back now. Oh yeah, you'll notice if I press up, you can actually shoot up. It does a bit of a weird twist to aim up, but, you know. At least he gets it done. Which, if you haven't actually watched the Men in Black cartoon, I actually do recommend it. It's got some moments that don't age well. There's a few bits that really don't age well. But a lot of cartoons of its time have moments like that, so I wouldn't stress over it too much. Just, you know, go into it knowing that. Ah, that was actually necessary to get to this bastard. And thankfully we have full health for this fight, so there's that. And he has a health bar. Trying to maneuver around really was not working out in my favor here. shooting him through the floor is not working either. That's not actually depleting his health, even though it looked like it was. Going gun to gun with him was working up to a point. Ah, till he spawned under me and killed me, and cheating bastard. Seems best to be on the same level as him and then just jump over his shots. All in all, I think this is a pretty simple fight. The controls are the hardest part about this fight. And the occasional, he pops out of a door in your face and hits you with the door. Oh, and of course he fucking pops out of the damn door and shoots instantly, too. That's also rude. There we go. We beat a level. Neuralizer get. Okay, that'll do it for today. We've actually completed, I think, at least one stage in every game that showed up. Every game that had stages. No, we didn't get one in the... And of course it fucking brings back Skull and Crossbones wants to taunt me. Get off my screen. Get out of here. We didn't get anywhere in the Indiana Jones game. But most of them we got somewhere. And I'll take that as a victory, honestly. Oh, that actually works out fantastically. I can return the favor to Zed from him raiding me literally yesterday, I think. So there we go. So we will head over to see Commodore Zed. Yeah, I know, you're gonna make fun of me as usual for the things that happen. Which is exactly how this works. But thank you all for taking the time to be here for this impromptu little test stream of the Shuffler. As much of a mess as it was, I will be sending us all over to see Commodore Zed, as I said. There it is. He's playing a randomized version of Final Fantasy V. He's been a pretty good dude so far. Of course, of course. I'm happy to be here and do stupid things to entertain people. But I will see you all tomorrow for Dragon Quarter. Hopefully we will manage to fix our situation with that enough to make it work. I did tinker with it a bit. I don't have a guaranteed solution yet. I will be doing some more testing on that before I start tomorrow. If we manage to beat that, I have a couple things up my sleeve for afterwards. If it still stonewalls us, I may cut over to the other plan and then do something about that. We'll see how that goes. But for now, I will be sending you guys off, and we will deal with that tomorrow. Have a good night, and be good to Zed while you guys are there.
Nothing there. Yo! Thanks for the raid, Drachima. How are you doing?